This book review, finally getting around to doing one, is a book most of you, if you're into martial arts, will have or will at least know about. It's the Tao of Jeet Kune by Bruce Lee. I'm hoping you've heard of him. Pretty good book. It is, again, based on a self-defense principle as opposed to a sporting principle. There are a lot of pages given over to his writing and his philosophy on martial arts, which is good. I've explained in other videos that the core physical responses and the core physical techniques essentially remain the same. It's the concepts, it's the principles of it, it's why we're doing it, when to do it, what we achieve by doing it. That's what Bruce Lee's writing in this book goes over quite a bit. He explains why we're doing it, what the aim of self-defense is, what self-defense isn't. There's also little things like he's got, I don't know how well it's going to show up, he's got things in here about doing physical exercises. In that, anyone who's ever seen a picture of Bruce Lee will know that fitness was a huge part of his life. This book does go into a little bit about it, where if you're completely out of shape and you can barely stand up, if you break into a massive sweat when you brush your teeth, then you're not going to have enough energy to fight properly. So, it's pretty good. He's got a lot of diagrams that he drew himself. Obviously, a lot of those diagrams there, clearly based off the Wing Chun influence. Bruce actually kind of moved away from his Kung Fu background as he got, I won't say older because he didn't live very long, but by the time the late 60s, early 70s hit, he'd kind of put the actual Kung Fu training to the side and was looking at everything else. But obviously, the key core things that he took from Kung Fu remained with him. You got some pretty cool, diagrams like that, which explain it's not just a still picture; it's explain where the hand is then supposed to go. So it's okay. It's pretty cool. It does come off more of a match fight type of feel with what he says in here. It's more for that one individual at a time. So even if there's, as you can see from some of his films, even if there's 2 or 3 attackers, I deal with this guy first, then I go to this guy. In reality, they'd rush you, Again, it's Bruce Lee, so you've got to be careful what you say, because there are people out there who will not hear a word against him. There are people out there who absolutely hate the guy. If you took Bruce Lee, if you had the magic time machine, and you took Bruce Lee from his prime and put him in mixed martial arts today, he would lose. That's all there is to it. He would get destroyed. If you took Bruce Lee from his prime, brought him to today, gave him 6 months to train in modern techniques and strategies, he'd be invincible. He'd be undefeated. Because it was his mind. His mind was looking at what I have to do to stop you doing what you have to do. So if you can take away his philosophy from the book, is what I would do. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, there are other self-defense books out there that cover this stuff in a bit more detail. There is other stuff out there possibly a little bit clearer. I mean, if you just look at that diagram, it's going to take you a couple of minutes to look at that and figure out exactly what's going on there. It's worth having. If you're a Bruce Lee fan, you probably already have it. It's worth having for the philosophy behind fighting. It's worth having to look at Bruce Lee's own hand-drawn pictures on boxing. You can, it's cool to see that he was an advocate of leg locks and he knew about them. The problem again then comes in that unless it's a one-on-one, which is a match fight, leg locks should be avoided. The reason leg locks should be avoided is because to do the leg lock, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be on the ground with you applying the leg lock. All the time I'm applying a leg lock, I've got to tie up both my arms to apply it to one of your limbs. The problem there being your friends can jump in and do what they want. As I'm applying a leg lock to you, you take your knife out of your pocket and stab me in the knee and completely, disable my leg. I've been over match fight, martial arts, self-defense in the video of the three siblings. Check it out if you haven't already. In closing, Tao of Jeet Kune by Bruce Lee. You don't need it, is the truth. If you're looking for some martial arts history, if you don't have any of the other books about Bruce Lee, this is a pretty good book to get of his writing and his philosophy. The things he talks about, I think there's been clearer explanations, more up to date explanations. Obviously, the world Bruce lived in was very different to how the world is today. It's an okay addition, but you can live without it.